But if you see a second flush, well, this is an emergency exit. You can cut the roots on one side and it will stop, absolutely, with a root pruner, because this is what you don't want to see. You don't want to see flowering or new growth at this time of the year. But start always with water deficit, less irrigation. But you have to measure it with probes. Here about the double table system, another example where we have two production platforms. If we work with a platform, we shift the platform inside the tree, and we pick and prune with a platform on top. Here you see the new growth on top, so this new growth will place the production branches, break it, but we need support of the wire, of course. And here, what you see in the winter, the ones we broke last year, has full flower spurs, and was able to make a new shoot that we can use again. So it's a never-ending cycle of renewal in the branch, or in the tree. So the pergola system, more or less the same. We renew our production branches. You pick all the fruits from the ground, especially in the hot climates like in Chile, but also here or in South Africa. They want to pick in the shade, especially for the tree conditions. And summer can be very hot, and if you have too much temperature in the soil, you get stressed trees because there's no root activity because it's too hot. But with the pergola system, you have a natural shade on the bottom of the trees, so you create a better root climate. For the pruning, it's actually a simple instruction. It's a 1, 2, 3 pruning for the guys that have to do the pruning. So it's easy to explain how to prune. We produce only on 2 or 3-year-old branches for the quality of the cherries. That is most important. And we produce in the pergola on 10,000 square meters. So we have the driveways are underneath the trees. Normally the planting distance you can do 3 by 1.5. I prefer 3 by 1. No more than 6 branches on each side of the tree, so 3 for production and 3 for renewal. If we plant 3 by 1, it's not 22, but 3,000 trees per hectare. On the Gisela rootstocks, actually, we can go very close, 2 by 1. So we plant even more branches, but the production per tree goes down, the leaves per fruit goes up, so it will increase the fruit quality, but it's a higher investment, absolutely. Yeah. So here you see the system in Chile on Colt rootstock. You see this is the shoot that we broke. Actually now, this time, this is the result from last year. It made single flower spurs on the tops as well. In year 3, you have full flower spurs for production. And this one, after production, we cut and take a new one in. So you see all the growth is concentrated in the middle of the tree and forms actually a natural shade in the summer for the trees. And other thing what you see, this is the break from last year. You see the new callus tissue, and just before the break, you get a new shoot that you can use again. Yeah, we select only the good ones that we want to break and fill up the space of the branches that we replace. All other ones we cut. Yeah. So it's a simple instruction. If we want to break 4 branches on this side, 4 to the other side, but if we have 10 or 12 branches, we cut the rest. Here you see it as well. The new breaks, the old breaks. But all the Vigour in Colt is concentrated in the middle. We need, of course, good drainage. Yeah, this is also a picture from Chile. This is in the Netherlands where we have the canals, so we have always good drainage. But if we have wet spots or layers in the soil, you have to rip them or put drainage in, otherwise the trees will suffer from root dieback in winter, and you get pseudomonas, and you will lose the trees. But you see here, if there's no good irrigation or too much water or whatever, the tree will suffer and will die because of the root dieback in winter. Other thing is, here we examples from the ridges that we make. This is also in Chile. This is in Holland what we do. The other one is in Spain. But what we do, make the ridges so it warms up, that we have root activity and blooming time, that's very important. But in summer it can be too hot, but with the table that we make, we create shade as well for the roots, and otherwise we put straw on it, yeah, to reduce the temperatures in the soil, to keep the tree active in the summertime. Or what they do in Chile, reflecting foil on the ridges to keep the tree activity. And this is also in Chile, in the hot climate on Isla 6, they do a double table system, and actually they have good soil conditions, 2 drip lines, and we make sure that the tree stays in good conditions. And this is really in a very hot climate condition in Chile. But we are able to do on Isla 6, Regina, and to get very good production per hectare. But you have to make sure that you create the right conditions for the tree, otherwise you'll never survive or you will have bad quality. But it is possible on Gisla as well. Here you see as well the natural shade from the table system on your ridge in the summer. That's on the pergola in Chile. You see Colt, but also Gisla, it roots not very deep, all on the surface, 20-30 centimeters deep between the 2 drip lines. If you crop the trees, you see all the roots are actually on the surface of the tree, which is actually good, because the most root activity in springtime, it warms up at the top layer of your soil. There's also the most oxygen for the roots and the most nutrients for the roots. So you want always 1/3 of moisture in the soil and 1/3 of oxygen. Normally in springtime we have enough moisture in the soil, it's wet enough, but not enough oxygen. Yeah? But if we keep the roots on the top, and if we do the irrigation well, the roots will stay on the top, and you have better control for your trees. Colt will do the same. Grimsk is from naturally goes much deeper. So what we want to do during the season,